All right, so we're gonna keep this to 45 minutes, even though I lost 15. And we'll circle back if we need to for more questions. So I'm going to kind of go through this because I really do want to spend time actually showing you working product. And really, I feel terrible that I just couldn't get that to work. So I'm not going to spend much time on Kinsey. I really want to focus on the product, what we're doing with segregation and duties in INFOR CloudSuite. So a lot of people register on our S3 application where we're doing all the comparable SOD checking, reporting, that kind of thing. Great. And we've now, the last few years, I'm going to go through this pretty quick. I'm not going to go through, we've been around a long time. We've been around, for over 40 years. We've had this product in the market for probably 10 to 15. I've been a development partner for that full time.
It's easy.
And we have over 100 implementations in the loss and INFOR community. So why are people looking at in Bailey? So they're getting what people have access to adhere to segregation and duty policies. What are those policies? How do we develop those policies? And we're finding with our customers, there's more than just to this and just identifying where you potentially have problems. And that could be conflicts of roles, conflicts of security classes, and conflicts of business classes. So there's different methods you could use to identify these. You can come up with your own reports, you can come up with your own policies, you can make sure people don't have conflicting roles. That's fairly straightforward to do. It just depends on how granular you want to get. So we're providing you the library of developed policies. When we do that, you can have the delivery to by security class, conflict, or down to business class level, which gets much more granular. It gets down to the actions somebody can actually take for. Again, we have customers that actually do some of this on their own. They develop some reports, they're checking reports, where we tell people need to go further is in a mitigation process and looking at user activity to say, they have security, do they actually use the business process or quasi the money? And so we want to try to give you the tools on how you can mediate those processes more than just identify those. We do that across a couple areas. So on the inside, security inside, what we're looking for, again, the policies from your user base, where you currently have potential violations, and things you want to be checking. So are there conflicting, for example, we don't want somebody to create a vendor to also be getting, we have somebody that has the authority to do that, we should probably look into maybe either mitigating that, we have to allow that to happen so they're auditing all that, or we have to change the security so they don't have commercial other information. So that's where we have to develop reports, we have to policy. Then we look at, I'm not going to put too much into your reporting is, okay, show me the level of the actual causing the violation for this policy. So we're going to tell you what rules they have on the security classes of the object. We're actually causing that violation to happen. So it's not a matter of seeing that I have a violation. How do I possibly identify where it's coming from? We identify that for you. And then we want to look at, if they do have this violation, which ones are kind of the most severe? By that I mean, where are people actually processing transactions? Like they're processing, they're entering vendors and they're entering vendors. Could be that we have a lot of users that have access to them that are not actually processing transactions. We're generally a lower degree of risk. We'll identify based on actual user activity. Or maybe you want to be focusing on as a user on a policy basis on people that are actually violating based on their activity. That's pretty kind of a. So, and again, I'm not going to go through all this detail because I lost my first 15 minutes. But preventive control, right? So SOD, we do SOD modeling, where I can look at how my rules in terms of combination and check an individual user. And then I want to look back at security and say, what are the actual things we can do? And how am I going to do it so that we can remediate some of these violations? So then on the detective side, that's where we're looking at, well, if they are in violation, let's see if they're actually doing anything. You may have to look just at the business class level, like are they only doing views, are they doing changes and updates? And if we need to get down to the actual data behind it, we can go as deep as the transaction already to find out in fact what's happening and what changes are they making to make sure that what they're doing is actually okay. And I'm going to focus on the SOD side of things. How do we identify these? How do we report back on them? And potentially, how do we mitigate or remediate them? So, yeah, I don't want to necessarily read the slide, but I'll go to we'll have these 199 or 96 policies. We actually have, I think it's over 1,800. We've already defined to check those policies. You can build ways going across different options, like going into the wall, in security class. Maybe you don't want somebody to be an AP administrator and a GL supervisor. You can easily check if you can say, well, the ones our customers are generally going to have high levels. When we get down to specific business classes and the actions of those classes, they can go into the wall. We'll look at some of those. This is what our policy rule book looks like, or library, and you'll see we have different categories. We have asset management, and we've got these. Some of them are activated by default. Other ones are what we call process policies, which I won't go through today. That had briefly things like an order that say the person that prints checks should not be out in the mail, physically mail. We just wanted to put those in there in case you wanted to control what's around those. We'll tell you what those policies are. It's not just something we can check in a security model, but we'll tell you what those controls are. So the policy library allows you to set up new policies, give the rating and the level of importance. That's using the filter when you go to run a report. I've gone across all these different categories. I can identify 15 policies that are my most important. I'm going to give them a 5-star rating. So when I run a report, I can just identify and say, pull So if I expand one of these policies, you'll see here this is for maintain fictitious vendor maintenance. There's 3 different ways you can do vendor maintenance. Vendor supplier, or vendor issue. We've identified those businesses, and we've identified these. So in this case, because I have 8 on the left, right, we're doing 24 different rules to get this one policy. So this user doesn't have to have access to vendor and vendor supplier, but if they just have vendor and they have payable invoice, that's a violation. They don't have to have everything. So we're checking, we can do multiple checks against your security model. Or one policy will initiate their 24 different rules. And that's how they're all going to be defined. You then want to look at the action. So if I look at like a vendor business, it's like what actions am I concerned with? So we pull these out of the database from Infor, and we've identified the different actions. So you see, I might be concerned about basically, if you have our S3 product, it would add changes. That's what we were concerned. They can do an add, they can do a change. So that was our primary concern. Well, in this product is significantly larger than that on the actions that can be taken. So you'll see that on the custom side, there's all actions, all creates, possibly all deletes, all imports, but I'm not worried about these. Somebody can look at a vendor, that can will allow you to identify which actions you want us to check for. If it's in the LPL, it's going to run our catalog. We'll check security to see if that action is allowed for specific actions. And if it is, and that's going to cause the violation. So you'll be able to get these codes rechecked and defined by our consulting team. And if you want to tweak these and add additional policies, if you want to check for different actions, we'll go down to the action level on what we're trying to check on that business, not just that it's available. If I look back on the reporting that you come in with the dashboard, you have all these different categories, you get colors based on violation star rating, you get no violation, star rating. You have little KPIs that are updated daily to tell you you have 5-star policies and you're clean. You generally got a clean dashboard, you start seeing the red show up. More than likely, it's changed with safety and security, and now enables somebody to get more access to what they want. So that's why we like to monitor the security changes, to know what that changes then. We also want to know on a daily basis, I may not need to run an SOD report on a weekly basis with my dashboard. So when I go to run a report now, I have this option of picking which category I want to report, starting star rating for role testing here. So we simply come in, find a new report, follow the category, pick the save and name. So when we run it, we take this into three. We have a left side, we have a right side, group 0, group 1. We can actually go to another group level up. And that I mean, I can check to see if somebody has actually vendor, and they can process invoices, and they can cut checks. We can check between the computer systems. And if they have all, say, an actual free, that's what I consider. Maybe I'm not necessarily considering that they're making and invoice entry. We have a policy to check that. We also check invoice entry and payment. If you're concerned that I just want to check for people that can do all three, well, then we'll throw that into the policy. You can see here, I've got the one main page, vendor and create a payment. So what I'm doing on my left side is my rule over here and some of the business classes I'm looking for are vendor and supplier, and vendor import. And I can see that if I expand the LPL of what I actually have set up for security, I actually have all access. You see, to create one-time vendor, I have the ability to do that, or I have all access on even doing vendor stuff. And that's problematic if I also can come over on the right side and I can issue payment or whatever I'm setting on the policy. So, and it looks like I have access to cash ledger payment, and payable payment. Those are conflicting business. You wouldn't necessarily want somebody to be able to. So, now here's the point, what do I do with it? So, and I'll show you with the application how I can start doing discovery on stuff that's usually been doing these actions, is that a concern? And what role do they have in actually causing? In this case, what I might do is just want to expand that easier. But I can also drill into different information. So I can drill down to show me all the activity on the changes policy. Show me how the security is set up. Show me the security injection for the full access. Or maybe what I want to do is show me my vendor a role that has informal access. Maybe that's what I find instead of one that has all access. There's a number of things that you can drill into security reports. So we think it's important that we connect our products, our SOD application, with our security reporting just to give you a lot more insight on this. And we have these problems, we don't just want to identify them, we actually want to fix them. So we have these options when we're looking at the HTML and additionally, I can drill to the activity if I drill on the policy. Or, you see this little group icon question mark, I can mitigate. Maybe we decided we have to allow it. We don't have enough people in the department, trusting people to allow this to happen. So I'm going to add a mitigation. There's multiple ways we can actually do this. We try to make this outcome. If we have a lot of people violating policy, we're trying to make it simple to say, we're going to allow all those people on this policy to have that violation instead of having to do one by one. There's a couple of ways we do that. These are some of the reports that I've given. So these are some of the reports I can run. And we'll assign them. it's done regarding the policy or just if I do the mitigation, so now I can come back and say, okay, I want to mitigate this policy. I can mitigate, let's say this is an IT user, and you want to mitigate everything in the system. So I don't want to have to go through 199 policies. So as the third option, mitigate everything. Or I could mitigate the payment report. I could just mitigate the policies on this report for this user. Give it a reason for this. I can give it an expiration date for this. So now, the next time that I run this report, if that user is mitigated, you have the option to run the report with or without the mitigations. The idea is we want to get clean reports. If you run it with the mitigations, we'll show you that it's been out there, but it's been mitigated. Otherwise, that person will fall off the report until this mitigation. We also have the ability to throw this into Excel so that I want to get a quicker way to do the mitigation. So I can, and I think I have this spreadsheet. But what I can do is I can select my mitigation options in Excel, a column and drag it down for this user. A.row, Taylor's policy 163. I'm going to take one of the mitigation reasons that you find on your own. That is drag it down to that policy, and now you can upload these mitigations instead of having to do individual one. You can look at many employees with many policies and do just drag down yourself, create those mitigations. Now, what we'll have done, we'll have ready here relatively soon. I'm trying to get it done by August 1st. But it's a new path, similar to what we did for Q3. What we do is we look at where are the violations? What's this compared to based on that? If they have any items, that means they violate that policy. If they're not using the business classes, they're identified as rules under the policy. So they never use, in my prior example, they never do vendor maintenance. They haven't, or they go and do it review those, it's considered a violation. And you saw, actually, the actions are defined. It's only if they've used one of the actions that they haven't actually taken the check. And then, so a green would be they haven't used one of the business classes that violated the action, and they haven't done a payable invoice. Vendor or payable invoice can violate the action. They have a security to do it. So that's why the yellow tells me they use on one side of the group, but maybe they've done better here. So you're adhering to the policy content, the security is still going to allow you to do it. So for instance, that's obviously we would have a problem on both sides. And we can table instances, so that's problematic. And then the blue tells me it's been mitigated. This is a report we have customers that just like to give in a high view. You can put this out to Excel in a high view of to their auditors on here's just a kind of high level view of exactly where our problems are. What are users around us? You can hone in on something. So you'll see here, you will any one of these individual relations. See, well, in this case, I was green would not look at anything before I did. Or red tells me, okay, I have families and I can do that. And I see the activity somewhere else on the right here. So that involves been doing vendor maintenance. So I can identify the actual business classes and the activity that's causing that to be risk. Now, in addition to this, we want to do some modeling, so you'll have an idea of set up a define a new goal, and you can check to see if that goal adheres to policies. Maybe have a new goal for asset management, to make sure it adheres to all policies. You can come in on our reporting and do a little test, select the goal here, and you'll get a drop down of all your goals, and you can pick which goals you want to check. You can check combinations, so in this case, we're only checking the combination of 3 roles. So if I were to provision a user, I'm going to give them those 2 roles. And really like to know if that combination.
I'm ready to get this, ready to get this, ready to get this
The other thing I can do is actually put in a user's name here. Got this perfected. Discover and identify which role they currently have access to. You can test that one user based on the present. Or maybe they're changing positions. So you're going to say, well, I'm going to take it away these two roles and give them two more roles. And make that change. Is that going to cause a problem? There's a number of different things you can do rather than identify here. So you can see how I can do check on the left side. I can use the name. I can do the combination of roles. There's a lot of things you can do here. We're trying to give you some tool that you can validate any setup changes you're going to make before you actually go in and be them ready to go. So in this case, when I ran that report, it came back and said, you see at the top, it's a little role that checked reading the roles together. And it says, this is journal entry, so go through the full journal entry. And that's because I'm actually these roles have access to geo transactions and geo ledger control. That's how those functions are handled. So this told me right away out of conflict if I were to put these three roles together. That's what we're trying to do with the role check. So you want to you should have enough time here to go in and show you the product. So this is what we'll deliver. This is Schedule 195. Policies, 18 of the rules. The reporting is all standard. Historical reporting, exporting to Excel. All of that is just standard part of the application. I will cover this real quick. So this is a relatively rapid implementation. So as long as how the delay on this is the customer getting their service set up. So this is something we do not host. We want this to be on a server in your environment. It could be in the cloud, it could be an INFOR cloud, anywhere that's actually in your network structure. We'll install on that virtual server that we're using especially. But it can be either purchased or it can be subscription pricing, even though it's on your server. So we have more than one pricing model for making it an easier point of entry for people. But this data will never come to Kinsey. It will never live outside of your environment. So yeah, you're not alone. We have over 100. So let me pull up this. And here you can start with I'm going to go to administration first. I'm going to show you some of these rules. I go to SOD policies. Make different categories. And if I put on the table, and I have the SOD policy rules, and here's in your specific settings, there's payments and everything. This is how the policy will be processed. So in this case, checking and doing 12 different rule checks to get these I want to know what are the actions I'm concerned about on vendor. And it's right here under positive actions, and then I have that working over here. So if I look at vendor here, you see there are 82 possible actions. Now remember when the old days were three, ACD, INP, plus minus, that role was limited. So within the LPL and the way the INFOR's got business processes defined, they have up to 82 different actions that can be taken on the board. Well, the main ones I'm concerned about are add, change, delete, import, update. I'm not concerned about include. You can set which of these actions you're concerned about that you want to see the actor has access to on vendors in a specific security customer role that are assigned to them. You'll see that all of the current business processes that we use in policy and then define so that you can expand the actions and support the topic. This is just basically set up the policy, and again, you can create new categories and then look at other policies. I'm going to come back to the SOD reporting. And I have my landmark dashboard here. That's something I like that. We also have it, you can have it for multiple environments. You can have it for that environment and your environment. So you can work against all those on a single Kinsey VM. You don't have to have multiple services here. And if I were to go to run an SOD report, see I have saved reports over here on the left, so I can create reports, save them, right click, I can schedule these reports, just put them on, schedule redefine, an email. So what we really do is the email and zip file. I'll save it down, and I'll use the report. That's what we create, and then that gets what it's going to be here. If we actually have to have report history, so I could just, I'm not going to do this. I can run this weather report and the weather report showing what's been mitigated. I've done it before. So I go to report history. Report history. Let me add one or two reports. So I'm going to go to vendor contract. And see, I have the zip file, but I'll have all the other files. So if I come down to, let's sort it by rule. So look at this report. And I'll see this policy. Let me read this. So policy 163, and I can see Dan Kinsey is violating this policy. The reason is because I have to create a one-time vendor. I can do vendor setup. I can expand these, and I see that I LTL and upgrade all actions, infrastructure for all actions. On the right side, I can actually enter, I can do pay invoice also. So this is where I can, what I can do here, I can right click here and say, if there's any activity, I can drill into the activity, look at what business processes are on this policy. And now I can see my business process. I can see all the vendor maintenance that I have. And maybe all I'm concerned about is we do have all that activity, which is another webinar where we can do next week, and how we do activity monitoring on. See here I'll have the vendor ID, the vendor group, the date, the time, and what action was taken on that. These all been updated. So what I want to know is if do I have any updates done on the vendors and on the other business. I don't have doing vendor maintenance. So it's not, I do violate the policy. I'm not doing anything. So this would actually on the grid show up as yellow because I'm in violation, maybe not. I want to go and see what are the users actually doing, what are the users, what actually modifying. Again, you can go further into some of the actual data that you can change. You can also go through security based on this. I want to know, I have the vendor and every security copy, so I have to go real good. I go to based on security copy, based on policy. These are the rules I have. Causing the violation. My system is pretty open, so I'm not handle my rules. This will identify which rule is causing the problem. That's the side of this user. Again, this goes down to security policy. Within here, there's a number of things you need to be able to do to determine is this really problematic, and what am I going to do about it? How would I resolve it? You can actually then from here, you can go into sending all the security policies, or even up to the role. We're going to have this, I want to have this really open. Come up here, let's use this now we're going to do all of this. So all the installations, go to 5 years. I have that for it. Then what we're going to do is the detail. This information I want immediately available to figure out if we don't want to allow this, what are we going to do? But maybe I do want to mitigate it. So maybe what I want to do is just, I want to click on here, and I want to tell it I want to mitigate it. So I'll just this policy, all policies for Dan Kinsey, or the policies that are just on this report. So I've done that without running this. I'll show you how this looks good. If I want to mitigate that policy, I come back here, and thing in this case, I ran this without showing mitigation. So I'm going to go by this. And I'm going to look for 1663. And you see Dan Kinsey is down here. I've fallen off the report because I didn't find this connection with my user. Look for Dan Kinsey. 1663, and I got 66, 67 again. 63 is falling off. That's what I wanted to do when I mitigate. Maybe I wanted to run a report this day. If I come up to the top of it, I say, sure, look at Dan Kinsey. 1663 is the one I had mitigated. Now, if you need to provide this report to the auditor, you can see that this report has been mitigated. The reason report, or as I said earlier, so if I were to pull up Excel version, now what you see, and now I've got control of all the policies, and I come down to, and now here's the one I had mitigated, it shows up the same way. So you see it here now, I have different groups that have violated this. Right on the right, I actually highlighted red the actions that are causing the violation. So there could be multiple actions allowed on the different class. Only certain actions are called. We'll highlight those for you. I can mitigate this pretty straightforward. I can come down and get whatever user you set up. I simply drag this down for this user. And I go over to my upload tab, and I can upload this in the application, and that user will be mitigated. The Excel version here will give you all the violations, all the same data, shows you what group that is, group 0, group 1, and then what I have over here, the group matrix are high-level views, like other violations in this report to the user, and there's other, I'm going to give you what the rules are, the actions that you check the report, there's the mitigation out there, this was just give you all the mitigations, tell you all the security classes that are in violation of the report, and all the mitigation data. So there's all kinds of data that's on this actual report. We have customers that have worked just within the Excel version versus the HTML. I'm past my time, so I'm going to wrap this up. I appreciate everybody sticking around. Apologize for that. If you have questions, if you want to follow up, if you want, some pricing information from Guy, he can help you with all this. And if you want your team to have, sit in on a demo for the team, discuss more about what policies we have built, we can do all that. We're happy to have that conversation. So this is the information for Guy. I'm sure he'll be contacting you, but it's just g.henson@kinsey.com. And I will edit this afternoon and put the good 35 minutes up on our website for somebody to review.